you know?
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
you know, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Tried to get Percy. I've tried to get Prems.
Yeah.
And they all are like,
Yo, I should just call all them. Man, let's pull up to Lens
yo, I'm
class all
about to make an
together.
Instagram group. Just add all of you. Like, so Len's teaching today.
That would-
Snappas is not here today either.
Yeah, I know.
So, but yeah, anyways, so Trevor was for you guys
Mm-hmm.
and Len was for me. And like you were talking about it before, like dance is where we find our balance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
It's I think things kind of changed for me a little bit once I started to take it serious, like
Yeah.
you were saying.
Yeah.
At first I was like, there, let's go have fun, let's go
Yeah.
cardio, whatever it is. You know, it's like my culture, like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then I started to realize that number one, I wanted to challenge myself. So
Yeah.
when I started dancing, I didn't look at, oh, this person's amazing, this person's amazing. I'm like, how can I just get better?
Better, yeah. That's a
And
great
my
perspective.
dance journey has been different because at every turn I put in the time and the effort. Like, for example, dancehall and Afro, it's important for you to know the culture and it's important for you to know the creator of moves and
Yep.
names. You have to, right? It's almost a way of like letting people know. And also those people creating those moves, those dances are either from the streets,
Yep.
you know, back in either Africa and Jamaica, like everywhere they're creating it, they're creating in the streets and they're creating this art to the world. So what better ways for you to learn it? So when you're
Yeah.
teaching people, you let them know these are the people. This is the group that created. This is the person that created, because then it helps them,
Yeah. Understand the history.
yeah,
too.
understand the history. So I had to learn that about dancehall, Afro, and, you know, going through everything with all the people that I dance with, I had to level up myself. So how I started was I went to Maka and Snap's class. I'm like, okay, I get this here, I get this here. Then I started saying to myself, how do I get versatile?
Me. How to get me.
Yes. How do you know, you got to put it together, but you have to add something else in order for it to be
You.
me. So I'm like, you know what, let me go to Busy's class that creates this. He was like, he's one of those people, like, he gets you ready for the stage.
Yo.
It's like you're performing in his
Yeah.
class.
If can we try to get him?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm so down to get him to come
He's
here.
gonna be fired.
He's gonna be fire. He's gonna be,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's like he was one of those people that would, when you go to his class, when you walk into his class late, you know he's gonna be hard for you to catch that corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody would come early, and it's like serious the entire time. So over the years, I got better at understanding. Then I went to like contemporary classes. Then I went to Afro
I
classes.
didn't know that you went to contemporary classes.
Yeah, I've been to a few contemporary classes. I can't remember her name, but at underground, I went to a few
gosh.
classes, and I had to learn how to like
Flow.
the flow.
Oh,
That's how I
did that
started
too.
like getting my lines cleaner, understanding levels,
Yeah.
you know, pictures, all that stuff. Like it, you know, when people are like, oh, where did he come from? It's like, I put in so much work and learning names, because in dancehall, every week
Yeah.
there's a new move
Yeah.
and there's a new name.
Yeah.
You gotta learn it. Right. And I'm not saying I know everything. Like, we don't know
No,
everything. It's
no
like,
one does. Yeah.
it's like Snap. He's like a dictionary. That guy. He knows-
Really, eh?
bro, that guy.
Okay.
You need a move in dancehall? yo, Snap. You know, what's the name of this move?
What is
He's
it
like,
called?
yeah. So, and that was the thing. And also, you have to understand in the group that I'm in, like, you have like Yannick, who's like so tall, and it's like,
Yeah.
but he's like very agile.
Right. He is.
For
I
big-
saw him freestyling.
And
in
you're like,
class, and
what
I was
the-
like, man's doing all kinds of stuff right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you start to see everybody doing their thing,
Yeah.
right? And you start to have everybody serving their own purpose. And then Trevor told me this. I'm going to say it on here. He said, you don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
You want to be yourself.
Yep.
What makes you different from all these people? I had to sit with myself for 2 weeks to say, what do I serve? What purpose do I serve here? And that's when I realized I have the best of both worlds, which is Afro and dancehall.
Yeah.
How can I merge that? You know, I personally, there's a lot of people that do it, but not a lot of people do Afro and dancehall fusion.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when I started that in here, and I'm sure a lot of people in other places started. I know a bunch of people in other provinces have that.
Yeah.
But he told me that, and then I sat down with myself and I said, this is what I serve.
Yeah.
This is my purpose, right? And I remember him having that conversation with me, and then I had to go do like some soul searching and figure it out. pave that road for myself and challenge myself, not anybody else. And then now I enjoy dance. And for me to even start teaching, it wasn't like, oh, I wanted to teach. It was like the OGs being like, okay, now that you know your purpose, now you got to help people understand that most of the dancers, they've been good their whole life. Mike, you started here and you're here now. You can show people that are new that they can actually do it in that period of time. And they don't have to be like, okay, I can never get to that level. Because
no, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. So that was the reason why. A lot of people don't know why I started teaching. They just thought I started teaching just to teach. Because the success I've had in such a short period of time, and the amount of work I put in, the OGs saw that. They're like, you can actually show people how to do that and not make them feel like they can never be that good. And, me going on stage now, dancing with different artists, like music videos, like it's just a testament to
your work.
The work that you put in. You have to put in that work. But, and I see you all too, you're all in your group.
I know. You know what though? Like one thing that you wanted to point out what you said, it's like you said that how you didn't want to compare, like, you didn't compare, you just did your thing and you kind of focused on that. Because then even when finding your purpose with your class, it's like, you said there's other cities or communities might do that. But here's what I realized. Think about it this way. Even our real estate side, there's a million mortgage brokers, there's a million realtors. What they can bring in is us, right?
Exactly.
Like only one person can be me and one person can be you. And I think once we realized our uniqueness and what we bring and become confident in that, I think regardless of how many people are doing the exact same thing, irrelevant then, right? It's like people are going to connect to you as a person then, right? They're not going to care about what other person is doing. They're going to connect to your classes, they're going to connect to your dance, they're going to connect to you as a realtor, as a flipper or whatever it may be. And I feel like also we get boxed into like this one thing, right? Like a lot of realtors are like just realtors, a lot of dancers are just dancers, right? And I feel like as human beings that's just not possible. We have so many other aspects of our life, right? And it's okay to be a dancer and a realtor and an investor and everything, right? Because that's just you. You're just being you, irrelevant of what that labels come with it, essentially, right? So I just wanted to point that out. I was like, people get caught up in the comparison of things. Absolutely. Right?
And it's important. I've learned over the years is important to not try to compare yourself to others. And I think it would be the first thing when you first start dancing or doing anything, you'd be like, oh, I want to be like this person. And then once you realize that you're your own self, you don't even care to compare yourself because you're paving your own lane. Right? I got a question to ask you.
Okay, go for it.
What would be your structure of your company or companies? Like, is it like just mostly mortgage? Is it just real estate? Or what are you constructing? Because I know as an entrepreneur, you probably have a structure in your mind that you have in terms of everything that you are creating, right? If it's mortgage, if it's real estate, if it's rental, if it's properties overseas, well, how are you mapping that in your head? Because I know...
I feel like he had this question in his mind because we switched from dance to this like real quick. I was like, wait, I gotta ask this. So my mortgage side is with a brokerage. It's separate business altogether, right? It obviously all of it is still real estate. So the bigger umbrella of things is all real estate. But actually, I own all of the properties in different corporations.
Ooh.
Yeah, in different corporations.
I've been wanting to talk to you about this.
Yeah, different corporations because a lot of them have different partners. Absolutely. So then you can ask shareholders in each company, talk to your tax accountants and stuff. Absolutely. Don't listen to me on that. But
don't just listen to us. Just talk to your accountant, talk to your lawyer and accountant. Most important.
Honestly, please. Like actually, lawyers and accountants,
man, they will save you.
They will save your ass, like literally. So all of them in different corporations, just also different partners. So I had to do it separately. Absolutely. Also, I didn't want to go personally on any of the things. For a lot of reasons in terms of like the tenants knowing your names and like things like that as well. For also the purposes of like just qualifying I think it's just easier to, not easier actually. Like you have, people think it's not easier to qualify under a corporation. Actually, there are lenders who will do it under corporations. Yeah. Like if you go to credit unions, for instance, they will do it under corporations. So the reason I separated is because A, different partners, B, it was separate bank accounts, different properties altogether. I do think there's different ways to structure things. That's just how I structured it because it was the quickest way for me. And I just also, personal name, what happens is like then my companies own the properties. I don't personally own anything, right? So I just structured it that way. And in terms of foreign investments, I actually went to Tulum in March and I checked out some real estate in Mexico down there. So that's like the basic map and structure. Like I said, I'm selling some of my portfolio in Cornwall, especially leaving the GTA stuff, and then using that money to either invest in like outside of the country or even like REITs or private lending and things like that. I think that's a great avenue, which is, I actually wanted to bring a lawyer on there for that. He does a lot of private lending and stuff, but that's the basic idea of how I structured the rentals and stuff, because the fiveplex and the like all of them are like also different kinds of properties. So I had to structure it differently.
You have to be able to track everything.
You
don't want to have like 5 different properties paying into this account and you're like, I have to, oh man, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And I actually got dubbed because we bought everything around the same time. So by the time I got everything set up and structured, I definitely had to clean up certain things and like, because there was at one point one account, like, a lot of the transactions happening from, that's why I was like, I liked the speed I moved at, but I felt like I wasn't structurally ready for it. And that's why I was like, anyone I'm suggesting right now, like who's asking me about the portfolio and growing that at a pace, I was like, figure out your structures while you're doing that too, because it's going to be harder to clean up than to like just start right. Right. So, but overall, like, I think you have to, again, evaluate your situation, go talk to your lawyer, accountant, realtor, mortgage broker. I think you got to talk to all your right professionals, all of us, that's when you know what the best way for you to do it. Because you might be also at a different income bracket that might not work with the structure that I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And you might want to talk to an accountant and they might suggest a better structure for you, right?
Absolutely.
But so that's the basic map. So how did you structure